Today's program, we will kick off with the presentation from Fabio on location innovation, the final pillar. So what Quuppa is innovating and developing behind the curtains. To start with, we're going to go into the location innovation presented by Fabio, and during the session you have the chance again to post questions and send comments on the GoToWebinar application. So please be active, and we'll cover as many questions as possible after Fabio's presentation. But over to you, Fabio.
Welcome back. My name is Fabio Belloni, one of the co-founder and chief customer officer at Quuppa. And in this presentation, I'm going to take you through what is Quuppa cooking under the hood. What are we investing in terms of research and innovation, and how we are taking our product ideas forward and ultimately into the products of tomorrow. So let's start with a short recap of what is our company strategy. So you have seen our vision, you have seen that Quuppa strategy is built upon three fundamental pillars: the channel, the products, and the innovation. And channels and products are what we refer to as mid to short-term goals, and it's everything that embraces our effort to try to go to market alone, or most of the time together with our partner, and really try to provide the relevant product for the end customer across the different vertical markets and geographical areas. While for the innovation part is really when we are trying to put our propeller hat on, to really get creative and really try to think about how do we reach the world of tomorrow, but not just as a passive player, but really shaping the product into the vision that we have already communicated. So what, sorry about that. So on the channel part, you have seen that our strategy evolved upon creating a channel partner program, really channel segmentation and understanding how we can best fit and work with the different partners, and then across the whole ecosystem to try to find the best way to collaborate with the partners. And my colleague Thomas has given you some good example on how we do that concretely already today. On the product side, you have seen my colleague Mari and Ville showing you how our product is currently built, what is it that address on the market, especially in terms of scalability and reliability. We showed you how do we interact with you and take your feedback into consideration when we crystallize the product, as well as how do we build our roadmap towards the soon coming product, and what do we think is relevant for our ecosystem to be able to embrace and leverage in the construction of their solution within the short term and mid-term future. Now we will jump into really the future. We will jump into what is Quuppa doing when he's investing in the mid to long term. And these are activities that we have been doing since the very beginning of Quuppa. We've been doing those in different capacity. Sometimes we've been shy and not really talk about it. In this case, I'm gonna, open up the curtain a little bit and show you what we have been cooking. And this product or ideas that are typically bubbled under innovation are really done so that as they become more mature, they pass feasibility testing, and they undergo some quite rigorous internal testing and sometimes testing done with selected partner. They kind of transit from the right to the left in this screen, really into the productization phase. And when it goes into the productization, that's where this idea, this concept, this future of this product, it needs to embrace and fulfill these 4 different layers of requirements. Because all the products that ultimately we would like to land into the market, they need to fulfill our general goals and criteria. So without any further ado, so let me take you into something that is a bit more concrete. So first of all, I want to define with you the difference between product and technology innovation. So product innovation for us, it means to take our current product, to take the elements and the components that form our product offering, and then based on market feedback, customer feedback, or simply knowledge that we build over time doing hundreds or thousands of projects every year, we identify a void. That's how we shape our existing components into be able to address those specific market needs or market requests. And this is a process that we iterate a lot within the company with our front lines, so sales and sales engineering, together with our customer partners that are in front of the end customer every day. And this is really a whirlpool of information and knowledge sharing that really help us to visualize and condense the product into direction that could be very valuable and relevant for projects that are done in the short and in the midterm. While when we talk about technology innovation, that's actually when we really look and think outside the box. So we have a vision, we have a strong belief of how the world of tomorrow is going to look like, and as we want to be main character in shaping the world of tomorrow, we also love to push the boundaries. So that is in our DNA, and we are not afraid to challenge what is even the common belief of our certain problem needs to be solved. And if we see that there is no a certain product or methodology or really technology able to solve that problem, that's where we really build it from scratch and trying to come up with feasible ways so that an idea could be ultimately really condensed into a product. So let me give you an example of product innovation. And actually, before we go there, let me actually show you what is our philosophy on how we build the product innovation. So we for instance, take a lot of input from our customer discussion related to how projects are executed, what is the experience of the end customer, what is the experience with the partner, with the product, and as we discussed already in the vision and strategy, every environment is different. Indoors is a very complex space because every building is like his own world and with his own complexity, rules, and requirements. So one thing that at Coopa we are very lucky is that we actually have 15 years of knowledge, thousands of projects that are active every day in the market, and with all of these projects we actually can gather know-how on how our product can better fit to the different challenges that are faced every day. And what we do is that we can take all of this challenging into this whirlpool of knowledge and continuous improvement, which are the moment we are building to be more and more automized. So ultimately, we will have a pretty much automatic component within our product offering that will take information coming from the front line. Of course, these are information that are agreed with the partners, so no confidential data, and all the information will be treated with the maximum respect and the maximum constraint. But all the information that we can gather, even in an anonymous way, in order to improve the product, they will will go into a process of machine learning and artificial intelligence, so that correction to decisions that our positioning engine is taking, even in real time, they will be taken faster, they will taken more reliably, and with the ultimate goal to really improve the robustness, the accuracy, and the reliability. Because when you go to environments that are multi-floor, they have mezzanine, they have metallic object, strong reflection, or you are in an open area, or you have metallic object that have tags attached to it, and they kind of provide a different kind of challenges to the radio environment. All of this is really baked within the core of the product. So the Coopa positioning engine, it's really an entity which is becoming every day smarter and smarter. And that's why it's also very important to understand that when Coopa makes product release, software product release, we are not just fixing the bugs of the product, but we are really releasing completely new features. We are making this beast, which is our positioning engine, more and more smart. And that's also what set us apart from many other RTLS company, which is the fact that everyone can build a positioning system that uses even angular information and try to retrieve from angular via geometrical math the position of the object and build a system that works in a lab or in a very controlled environment. But the challenge really comes when you go to a really physical environment, to an environment that has all those complexity which you can find in logistics, in manufacturing, in retail, in healthcare, where people are really working in that environment, and you cannot assume that the environment is controlled. That's where the positioning engine needs to be smart and get smarter, so that the decisions are taken based on really a long number of input that comes within the system. And one of the items that we are really gonna add in the soon coming product is also combination with the other adjacent standard concept like IMDF, and the idea of being able to digitalize the map and the physical model, so that we can include knowledge into the digital world of where wall is, or where tables are, or where different objects, so that the positioning engine, when it tries to compute the position, can keep all of these input into account and be able to always provide the most reliable and accurate outcome out there. So this whirlpool of combination of knowledge, machine learning, and artificial intelligence is really getting into the core of our product innovation. So let me give you a very simple but yet valuable example of product innovation. So when we work with standardized technology like Bluetooth, that's a massive advantage for Coopa to be able to leverage already today on billions of devices that are already on the market. So there are from phones to laptop to defibrillator to barcode scanner and computers, and even machines that are in manufacturing line which actually possess already a Bluetooth radio. And all of those information, since they are collected and can be leveraged for wireless radio connectivity upon a standardized radio technology like Bluetooth, and we can actually gather all of that and aggregate that information through our positioning engine. So what this allowed us to do is to be able to offer an infrastructure that doesn't just provide real-time accurate location, but we can at the same time provide information related to presence detection, related even to proximity detection. So you probably remember when we talked about our vision and strategy that data become richer when you combine them with location technology or with location context awareness information. So data content and context awareness merge together. That's really what creates richness in the data and helps end customers or partners to create extremely targeted and relevant and yet valuable solution, location-based services for the end customer. So in this case, we have been challenged by some partner to say, okay, I don't actually need high accuracy positioning. I only need presence or proximity detection. And some customer has been, for instance, using for solving this problem technology that is, for instance, leveraging upon. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of a problem with the mouse. Okay. We're back on track. So they have been using, for instance, some sniffers, or they have been using some pretty straightforward technology based on a wireless node that they can sniff or mesh or relay the information across the environment. And when you do that, typically you end up with a deployment like the one I'm showing here. This is, for instance, our office, and if we will need to cover the whole space, we will need roughly about 40 nodes. And typically, in order to preserve the battery lifetime, you will need to provide updates with a pretty long latency, like 5 minutes update rate. And then, of course, the communication range between the nodes tend to be very short, and that's why you need to have a pretty dense grid of nodes. But what we came up as a pretty elegant solution, an extension solution. It's actually the idea of leverage really on the key features that Coopa provides, which is the long-range communication and the short-term reliable two-way communication with the device. And the result is that we can actually provide the same proximity and presence detection, and yet do the remote sensing with the device effectively by using only 2 nodes mounted in the corner of the building. And in this case, the nodes are not even ceiling mounted, they're just wall mounted. So it would be super easy, like putting a painting on the wall. You just attach it to the wall, you attach a cable to the socket, the Ethernet socket that you have on the wall, you're done. There is no other complexity in the setup of the system. This is just an idea on how we can take our product and shape it, both in terms of tools and features, to provide and address a very concrete need that partners have. So this is now bubbled under the innovation. It will be a product that is going to come in the market soon. But let me take you forward now. Let me take you from the product innovation really into the technology innovation. And when we talk about technology innovation, this is really when Coopa is thinking beyond what is even possible today, what the standard even allows today. And during the years, Coopa has been involved in different level of standardization. And different forum for standardization. For instance, we have been involved when we were at Nokia, so almost 10 years ago, with the BT-SIG for initiating the Bluetooth direction finding methodology and concept. That was back in roughly 2010. That's the technology that then evolved into what was released in 2019 as the Bluetooth 5.1 core release. But that release, which is a core release, it still needs evolvement. It still needs completion to be able to crystallize the profiling and some of the spec that would allow that technology to really land massively across a million of devices worldwide. So together with other brilliant company and contributors to the SIG, Coopa is now in the front line working into crystallizing some of these specification for the radio packet format that would most likely come out as a new core release. With this new specification, that's where we believe that we will be able to really provide interoperable and standardized technology across the industry, not just the consumer industry, but also the enterprise industry as well. And in this case, we are really focusing on the indoor positioning system for mobile devices, handset devices. And the idea is to provide something that is effectively the true next generation of Bluetooth localization technology. So currently, Bluetooth is very well known in the industry to provide the proximity location to mobile phone and handset device via the beaconing technology, which is based on RSSI and power. But the idea here is to take it forward and really release the new generation of Bluetooth localization technology, which would allow the device to be positioned with like sub-meter accuracy and sub-second delay reliably across a very complex environment. So the AOD methodology, it's really what we are at the moment contributing into in the right standardization forum. The one of you that are following the BTSIG can find more information of where the standard is going and is moving. And if you're interested to get involved and contribute to this standardization, that would be great to have you as part of the work. Let me give you a very quick recap and difference between AOA and AOD. So the AOA, it's effectively the technology methodology that we use in our RTLS asset tracking product offering, is where we have tags that have different shape, size, and form. We have locators that are collecting the radio information and enabling the direction finding, and then the positioning engine, which is effectively where all the information gets processed, and the ultimate output via an API, it's reliable and accurate location information, plus a lot of other data like telemetry, monitoring, and everything that comes with that. Most of you online, they are extremely familiar with this product offering. But what we are talking when we say about AOD, and some of you might remember what we demoed already in our last partner event, the last one we were able to do face-to-face in Helsinki. Mr. Beacon had recorded a nice video of as part of his podcast of our AOD demo. So if you're interested, you could actually go there and review that video. But in the case of AOD, the system architecture is significantly different. So in this case, you have the locator, which is effectively a device that transmits, in this case, doesn't receive. And the locator in this case is a battery powered device. So very simple, super easy to install and attach with a long last battery of multiple years. And then the receiver, it's really your mobile handset, and similar to the GPS architecture, that's where the position that get computed. And there is a long list of benefits for AOD, because in this architecture, all the computational complexity is happening on the device, whether it's a phone, but it can be a robot, it can be an AGV, it can be a forklift. And in this case, the architecture allows for effectively an unlimited number of users to operate within the same environment without compromising of the accuracy of the data based on the traffic load. So very similar to GPS. And in this scenario, the AOD, it's a methodology that can be brought to market both for the enterprise markets, by, for instance, having the positioning engine run on smart mobile objects like forklift or AGVs. But at the same time, it could be also brought into the consumer market, on the handset market. And really the strong advantage of the AOD is that the locator itself could be like a centimeter thick. So it could be really like a sticker. And this device could be simply just attached to the ceiling, no cabling whatsoever. You just attach it, you press a button, he's gonna deploy himself, and you're done. So that's how simple it would be to deploy an AOD device. And we already have advanced prototyping in-house. We are not yet ready to show them to you in this presentation, but stay tuned, because before the end of the 2021, I think that you might see something presented by us. So how we take this idea and concept that really doesn't exist yet into the market, it's via an ecosystem of strategic partners. And this ecosystem of strategic partners really help us to take the AOD concept of technology offering both into the RTLS and asset tracking market, as well as into the consumer or enterprise market for smart mobility and robotics. And we are not yet ready to reveal the company name and all the partner we are working with, but I can tell you that this is a work and an effort that has been ongoing now for almost 2 years, and really talking with different companies across the value chain, trying to build and prototype and test a value offering that could be really landing into the market and into the end customer. So these are really activities that Coopa is investing in when we are really trying to push the market and trying to get company to agree to make and create value for the end customer with offering that absolutely don't exist otherwise today. And when it comes to the solution creation, you have to think, or at least we at Coopa think, that there are two different concepts of hybridization for positioning. So there is the very well-known concept of hybrid positioning, which is when you take a positioning engine or a certain application, and then you try to combine independent and uncorrelated sources coming from very different technologies. It could be Bluetooth, it could be ultra-wideband, it could be inertial sensors, video camera, RFID, Wi-Fi, GPS, LoRa, cellular. I mean, I can go on with the list. But you take all of this information and you try to aggregate all of that already at a very low level in order to provide a more accurate and reliable dot in a given environment. So you take the environment and you try to make your system better and better and better by combine independent and uncorrelated sources of information. This is very good for certain use case, and definitely at Coopa we are looking into that. And that's one track on how our product is evolving. But the other track that I'm going to show you some examples today in this presentation, it's actually related to the concept of hybrid RTLS. So hybrid RTLS, it's a bit different, and it refers to the idea that now you, as an end customer, just want to get a service, want to get coordination information, you want to get to know where your object is, but you don't really care to know which technology is actually running underneath for computing those coordinates or providing that relevant information to you. So in that case, it's up to the technology provider or system integrator to practically blend this technology together and really provide a seamless experience to the end customer or whoever needs to make use of your location data. So one simple example is like, taking a tag. Let's say that you have an asset that moves both indoor and outdoor, or maybe it gets transported for long distances. So you don't want to attach to this object different tags, one that allows optimal indoor tracking, ones that allow the optimum outdoor tracking, and ones that allowed tracking across a large transportation route. So the idea would be to condense all of this technology into one object, so that only one object is attached to the car, for instance, that needs to move from the manufacturer inside to the car dealer, and automatically within the core of the RTLS system to switch between the different technology, following the paradigm that you want to maximize the quality of service that the application is requiring by minimizing the power consumption, because that would make your tag last way longer than what it otherwise is. So combining all of this information together and making it completely seamless is the idea of hybrid RTLS. So really to stretch and optimize not just for one environment, but across many environments. And when you think in this way, how we are working this out is to really leverage our technology partner ecosystem, which comprises of company that works in different places within the value chain. From company that provides really the builds and bolts, the smallest components for building even hardware technology, to the one that works on the application layers. So in here, for instance, we list that we work for company that builds tag, to company that build networking and infrastructure, company that builds even cloud, because if you want to create a seamless experience to an integrator on the end customer, sometimes you also need to have the clouds that are talking together. And as you have seen in the previous presentation by Ville, one of our strong product offering that is soon landing into the market is our Coopa Cloud. And the Coopa Cloud is already thought from the beginning for not just a large scalability and ease to use, but is also thought to be open so that it could be integrated or could integrate other kind of cloud services to convey all the API or data services in a very seamless way through a unified channel. So moving forward, I would like to really show you some example on what we do with that. So for instance, on the infrastructure side, we work closely with the company Intellinet that provides PoE pass-through switches. And these devices are very nice because you practically come in with one PoE Ethernet cable, and then you can come out with many. In this example, it's 4 or 7 PoE cables. So effectively, they are splitting the power across the port and also splitting the traffic or aggregating the traffic depending on the communication direction. But what effect, and of course this device could also be daisy chained together depending on the power budget that you come in at the beginning. And if you think that the Coopa locators, especially the new Q generation locators, are effectively consuming 1 watt of power, when you have with the PoE 15 watts or PoE plus 30 watts, you can really power up many devices and minimizing the cable run and the ultimate deployment cost. So this has been something we have been working on, we have been discussing a lot with our customer and partner, and I want to give you a very concrete example of why we think that this new innovation product it's valuable. This is an example in retail where if you would just do a star connection, you will really need to run quite a lot of cable from every locators back to the cabinet where the main switches are. And you know, in some cable, in some project, there are such strict requirements that that's the solution. But in other projects, there is a balance that needs to be found between infrastructure cost and meeting the ROI at the end. And if you want to minimize the deployment cost, we are putting together really this tool set of different options, one of which is disaggregated cabling. And we have already rolled out and done project where you can easily save 60% of the deployment cost, not just in cable, but also in labor cost and rental of equipment or stopping the production line. And by doing all of this together, not compromise on the reliability and the quality of the data that your system needs to be able to generate. And what we are doing on the innovation part, it's yet to take this product a step forward and not just think about a complete branding of the product, so that we will have a complete commercially integrated solution for all of our partners, but we are also thinking on how to get it fully integrated into the Coopa offering via API that would also allow very easy telemetry and monitoring of all of these items, so that there is no kind of failure points, and everything can be really remotely telemetry monitoring corrected if something is happening. Once the system is operational. Another example of great innovation is what we are doing with our partner Wiliot. We have been discussing with them for many years, and Wiliot is evolving their product really from a concept to something that is a prototyping and now really a product that is landing into the market. And on Coopa side, we are aligning our product offering with Wiliot offering to really be able to leverage the best of the two worlds. So on one hand, Wiliot is providing very inexpensive, as written here, with less than 50 cents per tag device, which is batteryless, so completely cutting edge technology. And yet they would have the need of leveraging on an infrastructure partner and RTLS partner like Coopa to be able to gather this data, convey them to an API, and be able to, on top of this, compute information related to location that could be very valuable for a system integrator or an application provider. So this is really a kind of cutting edge product offering that could ultimately unlock different business opportunity where the number of tags is so high that the price per tag could really ruin the ROI in a certain project. And remember that from Coopa side, our platform is open so that we can accept and operate with different tags provider at the same time. So if you start to think about a very elaborate and complex deployment where we may need to have hundreds of thousands of very inexpensive tag, but at the same time having maybe a subset of tag with high data rate or a lot of sensing capability, and having everything aggregating into an infrastructure, that's our bread and butter. Let's go also into the Omni ID example and Quintex and Bartek. This is what we do with them in the domain of ATEX and EX product. So we have been involved through the years on different discussion for projects that they have very strong requirement in terms of EX certification for operating on oil rig or petrochemical or everywhere where there is volatile element that they could explode or just get fire. So we through the years we really concretize the product offering, and these are products that exist today. So if you are interested to know more, please reach out to us, to your sales representative, and we can introduce more details of what we have been working innovation-wise for the past years. And then another track that has been extremely interesting to work upon has been how can Quuppa leverage and integrate into the cellular network, whether it's 4G or 5G. And in this case, I want to give you an example of what we have done with one of our technology partner, Kumukor. And maybe before getting into the specific of my slide, I will show you a very short video. Hello, my name is Fabio Belloni, Chief Customer Officer and co-founder at Quuppa. Quuppa is a company that provides technology solutions for different vertical markets. We provide, in particular, location technologies that can be used both indoor and outdoor. We provide both hardware and software, and we have different interfaces that partner can use for integrate our platform within their product offering.
My name is Jose Costa Repena. I'm from CEO from Kumukor. Kumukor, I mean, the whole thing came after working at Nokia, because there I saw that we had a huge system for building all the mobile networks. And then I thought that we might need something smaller, something that is more like scaling down the whole system. And then it turned out that it came 5G, it came the private networks, and that was the exact fit. Yeah, I think that I mean, location is it's critical. I mean, it's important for industry, because besides communicating to the machines, you have to know where are the machines that you are communicating with. It's one of the key aspects of industrial communications. So in order to get this location in a cost-effective way, then we need to have alternative solutions. So in that sense, that's where we see that Quuppa could complement this kind of solutions.
We've been working with our partner and customers for the past couple of years, trying to understand what are their needs and how they are landing their solution powered by Quuppa into the different markets. There is always sensitivity around the infrastructure and deployment cost. And that has been something that was brought to our attention several times. So what we did as a good customer-centric company, we kind of went back into the drawing room and trying to understand from these market needs how we could help our partner land the product in an easier way. As our platform can be used across so many different geographical and vertical markets, it was close to impossible to find a solution that could solve the needs of everybody. We started to work with 4G and 5G connectivity technology thanks to market demand. And this demand came both from our partner as well as from other company which then became our technology partner. One of such company is, for instance, Kumukor. They have a product offering around the core of 5G, and they have a great complement platform to Quuppa.
So we have private network, and then we have the proper location that doesn't require a huge investment in order to build up like a large set of base stations just to find the location of your devices.
So the partnership with Kumukor has been very inspiring, and we are looking forward to package an offering that would be off the shelf for our partner and customers. And please stay tuned in what Quuppa will offer in the domain of 5G. Thank you. All right, welcome back. So I hope you liked the video. So let me show you here what we have been discussing. So effectively in this experiment, together with Kumukor, we had a locator on one end, and then a few kilometers apart, we actually set up our positioning engine running the computer, and we wanted to test the reliability and the quality of the connection over a cellular network. In this case, was a private LTE, was a 4G network. But this is an innovation concept that we are still working upon. We have technology partners that are phone operators. We are not yet ready to reveal that, but they are. We are working with them on really providing an integrated offering that could help some partner to execute Coopa on top of 4G or 5G networks. And then another example of innovation we are doing, which is really exciting us. It's the one related to really the example of hybrid RTLS that I was giving before. So if you think about having indoor and outdoor scenarios where objects can migrate between the different environments and you want to track them in a very seamless way, well, that's where technology like LoRaWAN can really come handy, because LoRa, with their low battery power consumption and long range communication and capability to provide some level of outdoor proximity RTLS, it's very good for tracking object moving across long distances. But then when the same object comes into a closed facility or in the proximity of a facility, it could be even an outdoor parking place where you now need to have a reliable positioning, whether it's only proximity or you need to go down to really sub-meter positioning. That's where Coopa comes into place. So having a device that smartly can switch between the different technology, that could be a massive advantage for a system integrator to really take the best of two worlds and combine them within their solution. So this is a great example of innovation. We are still pursuing different declination on how the Coopa technology could be leveraged in conjunction with LoRa, and you will hear from us in the near future more. So we are closely coming to the end of this presentation, but as you can see, from our part, we are very excited about the work we are doing under the hood, under the innovation kind of branding. We are excited of the work we are doing with our technology partners, and we are truly looking forward to continue innovating together. So if you have an idea, just don't be afraid. Come to us. Let's talk. Let's see what we can do together. And we're not scared of challenges. So we like those. So I think that this is pretty much concludes my presentation. And I'm asking my colleague whether there is some questions. And yes, I see question online. So maybe we have a couple of minutes for addressing some of these questions. So I'm going to read them from you. So one question is, when AOD will come into the market? So yeah, that's a great question. So the AOD is probably going to land into the market in different phases. Clearly, it will take a little bit of time, and it will take the standardization in the BT-SIG to be completed before we will see the technology be widely adopted in consumer market on the phone handset side. We are working together with the other companies in the SIG to try to expedite this work as fast as we can. For the one of you that are familiar with the standardization, it takes some time, but then when it happens massively. So it will still take maybe a couple of years before we are going to really see technology on the phone. But even before that, we will see some proprietary implementation of AOD coming into the market, and especially addressing the industrial world, whether that will be in conjunction with mobile computers or mobile handset or robotics. So stay tuned. As said, we have already some mature prototyping at hand, and we will communicate more before the end of the year. Maybe we can take only one more question out of the two, and the question is about what are the future plans of Coopa? Well, great question. We tend to be a little bit of a propeller head when it comes to create and innovate. So as said, we have some extremely extravagant idea on how a technology like Coopa could be integrated into other technology. It could be lighting system. It could be, again, mobile handset system. It could be different kind of technology that are already existing in different environment and create a very tight combination of technology for benefit the market. We are always open to new ideas. I'm sorry if I'm a bit reserved on telling you at this stage what we are otherwise cooking, but I hope that you will stay tuned and little by little you will get to see. But hey, I thank you everybody for listening to our presentation. We hope you like it, and if you have any other question, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Happy to be in contact with you. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you, Fabio. Interesting stuff in the pipeline. Now we're going to have a coffee break, but do come back as we will have a panel discussion on the evolution of hybrid RTLS after that. See you soon.